Long before the Purim story unfolded, there was a man named Haman the Agagite. He was a broken man, poor and desperate, struggling to feed his 10 sons. He searched endlessly for work, but luck never favored him.
Then, one day, he heard a rumor. Any man who fights in the king's army and wins will be rewarded with great riches. This was his chance. He ran to the palace, pleading with the king to give him a unit of soldiers. With a nod from the king, Haman marched into battle, his mind filled with dreams of victory, wealth, and power.
But when the moment of battle arrived, so did his fear. Instead of fighting, Haman turned and ran, his enemies chasing him down. Terrified, he fled into the desert. Alone, defeated, and on the brink of death, he collapsed into the sand. And then, a shadow fell over his trembling body. A man knelt beside him, offering bread and water. "Do you know who saved him? Mordechai!" In that moment of gratitude, Haman made a promise. Grabbing a scrap of parchment, he wrote, in his blood, "I owe you for your kindness for the rest of my life." He handed the note to Mordechai. Then, without another word, he disappeared. Back at the palace, the soldiers Haman abandoned had won the war, and Haman, he shamelessly marched into the victory celebration and approached the king, demanding his promised reward. Not long after, he stumbled upon a hidden treasure, a fortune unlike anything he had ever imagined. Just like that, Haman became one of the wealthiest men in the kingdom. With wealth came influence, with influence came power. Soon, King Ahasuerus needed a trusted advisor. And who is better than Haman? Dressed in royal robes, draped in gold and jewels, Haman rose to the highest ranks of the kingdom. But it wasn't enough. Haman wanted more. He wanted everyone to bow to him. And everyone did. Everyone except one man, Mordechai. He did not bow. He did not even lower his eyes. "Why won't you bow?" People whispered to Mordechai. Mordechai answered, "I do not bow to men. I do not bow to idols. I bow only to Hashem." Haman's blood boiled, his fists clenched. That was the moment Haman made a vow: "I will destroy Mordechai and his people." That night, Haman gathered his servants. They searched for the perfect date. "Not in Nisan," they said. "That is when their God took them out of Egypt." "Not in Sivan," they muttered. "That is when they received their holy Torah." Month after month, finally they found it. The month of Adar. Now, he just had to convince the king. "Your Majesty, I have traveled across your empire, and I have discovered a people who do not respect you," he began. "They live apart from others, follow their strange laws, and refuse to bow to you." Ahasuerus frowned. "Who are these people?" Haman answered. "The Hebrews, my king. We must get rid of them, once and for all." The king hesitated. "But Haman," he said, "the Hebrew people have always been protected by their God. No harm ever comes to them." "Do not worry, my king," Haman assured him. "Their God is angry with them. He will not protect them this time." And with that, the king handed Haman his royal ring. A decree was written. Every Hebrew man, woman, and child was to be destroyed. When the Hebrew people heard of the decree, they wept. They cried out to Hashem. But Hashem did not answer. He had seen what they had done. They had gone to Ahasuerus' feast, eating from his table and drinking from his cup. They had ignored Mordecai's warnings. And so, Hashem decreed that they would be punished. But then something happened. The angels in heaven began to cry. They wept with the Hebrew people. They begged Hashem to forgive them. A message came to Mordechai. The punishment has been decided. The Hebrew people will be destroyed. Mordecai's heart shattered. He tore his clothes, crying out for his people. "Pray, pray," he pleaded. "Only Hashem can save us now." But was it too late? Would God hear their prayers? Stay tuned for the next episode to find out.